Hi, this is Deborah Christofferson. I play Sue Blevins on 911. You're listening to Fandom Family Chats.
Welcome back to Fandom Family Chats. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Eve.
And tonight we are talking 911 and 911 Lone Star. Let's start with OG. Episode 14 already. Wow. It's going fast.
They're really zipping right along.
They are. Season's gone so fast to me.
Especially Lone Star, because I don't think they've taken a break since they came back in January.
No, they haven't, which is nice. This is a good episode. The team was full of anxiety this week because of those personal reviews.
Oh, gosh, I hate reviews, and they exist in literally every single job. I've only ever been a teacher, so that's all I know, but I'm pretty sure these performance reviews just exist in all jobs, and it doesn't really matter how great you are at your job. It's still nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And
I like how Bobby's like so intimidating to everybody though.
Yeah, and I was sitting there like, have they met Bobby? Like, have they met this man? He's not that intimidating. But
He's
it's
really not.
but then like a part of it was like telling him how he can improve or something, which I feel is even more nerve-wracking than being told like my performance, because I went through that too, where I don't even remember what the purpose was. I think it was being done across the school district, but my principal was scheduling one-on-one meetings with every staff member, and we had to, like, it was a huge staff. It was a K-8 school, and she wanted us to basically like give her like honest feedback about how she's doing, except it was face-to-face. And I'm like, I don't have any problems with you, and that's the honest truth. But if I did, do you think I would be telling you to your face?
Ooh.
It's like
That's why you do anonymous reviews for stuff like that.
It's like, you have the power to fire me, so I'm gonna say no thank you to that.
Yeah. Yeah, that should always be anonymous, I think. I don't think they should make you do that to your face. Because that's just like they're gonna retaliate and fire you, you know? Like I'd be too scared to ever say anything. It's funny that Chim was the only one that wasn't like nervous at all about it, and he's the one that got sent back to training.
I didn't know how I felt about that at first. Like, because it was obvious Bobby wanted him to learn something or do something, but then like when he got there and he started, first of all, before we start, we saw Ravi again, which was a big coincidence because just last week I was wondering whatever happened to Ravi. Like, I was wondering last week whatever happened to him. So like I wonder if the actor had to like stay away because of COVID and he's just now comfortable coming back. I don't know, but whatever the reason, I'm glad that he was back. When we saw Chim like start jumping in to help him with training, in the back of my mind I'm thinking, no, that's not why you're there. You're supposed to participate in the training. But I guess I was wrong about that. So,
well, you know, Bobby didn't really give him much to go on. Just, you're going here for training. Okay. That's pretty much all he gave him.
like, you'll figure it out. Like, how? With the complete nothing you gave him?
What happened to Lucy? She never came back either.
Lucy, that was the Ariel Kebble, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, I know that the actress couldn't be on, like, once COVID hit, like she couldn't be on. And then they had the her character, so they just had Lucy like have some kind of injury or something.
Yeah, I
And
thought she like broke an arm or a leg or something.
yeah, so she's off duty for a while, but then they never brought her back and they don't talk about her.
No, it's like they just completely forgot about her. It's like, oh, you're gonna be gone while your whatever limb is healing, and then you'll come back. Except you're just gone forever.
It's gone forever. It's fine. I hate when shows do that. Like, I get that things change and the actor ends up not being able to come back, but that's when you spend not even 30 seconds saying, oh yeah, it's too bad Lucy can't come back. Yeah, I guess she, is really liking that station up, in wherever it is she moved to. The end. That's all you have to do. Give us something.
Something. Anything. We don't care if you tell us, we're sorry she died. Oh, that's sad. Okay. At least we have some closure, Not like her broken leg is taking 3 years to heal.
Like, I think maybe she needs to consult another doctor if it's taking that long to heal.
Yeah.
I'm
I
no
think
professional, but that doesn't sound right.
I don't think you're seeing the right doctor at all. Definitely not.
Yeah, I hate shows that do that. There's this, did you ever watch Degrassi?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's this theory, I don't know if you can call it a theory, called the Degrassi black hole. And there are like countless characters from that show that just up and disappeared, never to be heard from again. Like one episode they're there, and then all of a sudden they're not there anymore, and there's zero explanation as to where they went. And it was their thing. They did that all the time. And I just think it's so weird.
Like, what's the point of even introducing the character? If you're just gonna I mean, she wasn't even on for very long, was she?
No, it was like just a season. Why
Wasn't I don't even know if it was a full season.
why did they bring her in? Like who did she replace initially? Was it Buck? One of the many times that he'd left? Or was it wasn't Eddie, because Eddie was a little bit more recent.
I don't even remember. Was it Chim when he was gone?
I think that's it. I think she came to replace Chim. Ryan Murphy, if you're listening, we need some kind of explanation. We don't care how dumb it is, we just need something.
Yeah. Just don't let him fall off the face of the earth never to be heard again, because it's super annoying.
It's not cool. We're not going to forget about her. Like, we like her. I love that
I'm
act.
excited to see Ravi coming back, though, to the Firehouse.
I always loved him.
He's cute, too.
He is very easy on the eyes.
Can we talk about Eddie? Because I actually really liked his blind date. I thought they might be a good match.
I had really high hopes because I knew, like, going in that he wasn't into it. But then when they were sitting there, like, hanging out, talking about how they were going to lie to their families about how the date went, and they're like, I ate this, you ate that, and, you were a gentleman, blah, blah, blah. I was like, they're going to end up actually dating. But I don't know. They kind of left it a little open, so to speak. So I don't know. Maybe she'll come back into the picture because I really liked her. She seemed really cool.
I did too. I mean, they seem like even if they start, this is like my favorite type of books to read is like fake relationships. Even if they start out as a, like a plan to get their ants off each other's backs fully. Let's start out as, hey, we're dating.
But secretly,
Maybe it'll turn into something.
but secretly, because we want to keep our families all out of this.
Mm-hmm. I think they would be a perfect match together. I really do.
Yeah, Eddie.
And after she walked away, he kind of got that look in his eye, like, oh, I like this girl.
Yeah, he needs something fun.
He does. He needs someone.
Has he dated anybody since he's been on the show? I mean,
Just his ex.
except for his ex-wife. Well, ex-wife, like they never divorced, I don't think.
No, I mean, it is.
But anyway, like since her, other than her, there hasn't really been anyone. Like his world is very, very small. Like it's just him, Christopher. Oh my gosh, I love her so much, and I can't ever remember her name. The home health.
Oh,
Well, anyway, it'll come.
that woman, we love her.
We love her so much, we just don't know her name. It'll come to me. And then Eddie kind of Buck kind of barged his way into Eddie's life also. But like other than those like three people, his world is very, very small. And
Yeah, it really is.
it's not like Christopher is, a 6, 7-year-old who, isn't aware of what's going on. Like, he's old enough to see that, his dad's kind of lonely.
He is. He needs someone. Anyone. They just haven't given him much of a really good romance at all.
I really hope that this kind of pans out because I did like that girl.
Mm-hmm. I like her too. She was also, I mean, she was really cute, and they just had banter, the perfect banter back and forth. And clearly they're on the same page about a lot of things, so hopefully he sees her again. Because I would like to see her again.
I
Oh
need
my
to
gosh.
see it again.
Jennifer Love Hewitt singing this week. I love it.
I didn't know that
She's,
she could sing.
yeah. She's she's got CDs out.
Does she?
Well, they're older. Didn't she sing on Ghost Whisperer?
Mm,
Could have swore she sang once.
maybe
At
every
least,
once, maybe like once, but I didn't realize that she could sing like that.
right? She's a good singer. Yeah. That was a nice treat this week.
It was, I feel bad talking about this week after week, but I feel like every time they show Maddie, she's just so big looking. I hate talking about a woman's size, but I just feel like they haven't been doing her any favors.
No.
She is a gorgeous woman. And
Yes.
I get that she had a baby recently, but like
Doesn't mean you have to put her in a potato sack.
it's it's just not flattering people. Come on.
The woman's got curves. Let her show her curves. Stop giving her these ugly things.
Unless she's picking her wardrobe, which if that's the case, then sorry, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
I doubt it, because like I follow her Instagram and she does not look like that on her Instagram.
Okay, well now I'm just really confused.
Right. Yeah, I don't understand. It was really cool that she thought of the singing to calm the kid down.
I didn't
And then he
realize
just started singing with her.
I didn't
Sweet.
realize that that was Augie from Girl Meets World. He's gotten real big.
Huh?
Girl Meets World. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah.
Augie,
Who's
the little
okay?
brother.
Really?
Yeah. I
I didn't
think
even notice that.
I think Jeanette said something in the chat.
Oh, I totally missed that.
Yeah, that's Augie. She said, "Did you?" She was like, "Oh, that's the did you guys recognize Augie from, Girl Meets World?" And I was like, "Wait, where? Where was he? He was the kid with the panic attack."
I did not notice that at all. That's cool. I love seeing familiar faces.
You have to go back and watch now.
I know, right? I'm definitely
But
gonna
he
do
had
that.
the big curly hair, so I mean,
It's true. That should have been a giveaway there. Oh my gosh, that arm. The woman with the mixer.
I knew that was going to happen. As soon as she was scolding that one worker about, using the shields and how she was saying, but we need them. Like it's against, I don't know, whatever code she cited. I think she said OSHA or something.
OSHA. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that lady is going to try to show her how it's done. And she's going to get her arm stuck in that mixer. And it's going to be gory and gruesome. And I unfortunately was not wrong.
Mm-mm. That was bad. I went to use my mixer this morning and I'm like, hold on. I'm getting like flashbacks from 911 here.
Oh God. It,
Her arm was completely bent the other way. It's not supposed to bend that way.
as soon as I saw her arm in there, I was like, so lady, what do you think now about those cages? They seem like a great idea now, don't you think?
Yes.
That bodybuilding championship. Good golly.
I didn't know there was such thing as synthetic muscles.
Apparently there is. I didn't either, but I guess it's a thing.
How did no one notice this guy's getting fake muscles in his career if he was supposedly this big bodybuilder?
Yeah, like how did he even get them installed? Like, is that even the right word? And like, how did he get them like in his body? Because they have to go in his body, don't they? These synthetic muscles. So somebody had to have done that.
Yep.
Like, did
I,
they sign some kind of like heavy duty non-disclosure agreement or something? Like, you'd think something like that would get out pretty quickly.
you'd think. Yeah. Ugh. Just watching his muscle gush, I'm like, that's not supposed to do that.
And I think this made it worse. Like, I knew that it was coming because that was what was shown in the preview. It's like I knew it was coming out. It's like, oh God, it's happening. It's gonna happen.
I've never heard of that. I'm assuming it's kind of like a synthetic boob, but in your arm. I don't like that.
Oh.
That's weird. Yeah, that was really weird.
Well, I was going to say it sounds like something that's going to cause a lot of problems, but obviously it did.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even participating. It was his son who was doing the bodybuilding. And then as he's walking out, he gave the trophy back. I'm like, why? It's not like you had the synthetic muscle. Like, you earned that fair and square.
Mhm. He did. I don't think he should have given it back, but I get it. I get what he did. He was only doing it for his dad, and his dad was the liar.
Dirty, filthy liar.
Man, those bodybuilders are pretty angry about that.
Yeah, I was surprised that the that the team was all able to get through in the first place. Like, they got through no problem, but then all of a sudden now they're not able to, they're having a hard time treating him because of the crowd. And I'm like, if they're this upset, how did the team like manage to get through that crowd in the first place? Like, I mean, I get Athena is there and she's amazing and you don't mess with her, but she's also one person in a crowd of bodybuilders. So shouldn't there have been like other cops there to like help with all the ruckus?
It's funny though, because all she's got to do is stand on that stage, say a few words, and all those big men in that crowd just calm
Oh,
down real fast.
she had me from hey. Like, as soon as I hear Athena say hey, I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am. I don't know what I was doing, but I won't do it anymore.
She's very, very demanding demeanor to her. It is nice. I do not have that.
Next week looks intriguing. Speaking of Athena, because it looks like there's a lot going on. Like, at first, it's like, so a man dies in custody, and it looks like maybe she's about to be blamed or something. And I thought that
Mhm.
was the storyline, which seems juicy enough by itself, but now the
Then she
body.
goes to check the body, and it's like, oh, this is a dead man. It's not my dead man, though. This is a different dead man. So now you're missing a dead body, and you've also gained a dead body. Alrighty.
So you had one problem, and now you've gained two more.
Yes.
So you've got a dead body. You lost that dead body, and you have a new dead body.
Mm,
That's a lot of dead bodies.
yeah. Why would you just trade a dead body for a dead body and think no one would notice? It's like, oh, let's just give them any dead body. They'll never know,
So
right?
dead. Are they really gonna know the difference? Like, it's a dead body's a dead body.
They all look the same. Not quite. I like the title of next week, Death and Taxes.
Well, it
What
looks
is it that Chim said? There's two things that are inevitable, death and taxes. Makes
well,
sense.
or death and death. I'm wondering where the Texas part comes in.
I think that's all for OG. Man, Lone Star was really good this week, I thought.
Oh yeah, it was real juicy.
I thought I was lucky when I got to hear Maddie singing, and then I heard Grace singing, and then I heard Grace and her sisters singing together. It sounds like a choir when they were singing together. Like their voices match so perfectly together.
Yeah, more of that, please.
I wonder how long they've been singing together, sisters, because they're her actual sisters, so the actresses, actual sisters.
So
I,
I
I
mean,
bet they've been singing together since they were kids.
yeah, like this can't be a new thing. It's like, oh, you have sisters. Let's make you guys sing. Like this has to have been a
Yeah.
thing.
Must be something they're known for that I don't know about. I would like to because they sound glorious together.
I mean, you are the investigator of the group, so I'm sure you'll find something.
This is true. I will definitely be looking.
I was so uncomfortable, and I was only like a viewer watching this. I was so uncomfortable with the interaction between Grace and her dad, and I'd forgotten about all the stuff that went down between her and her dad. Like I'd completely forgotten about it. Like at
Mhm.
first, I was thinking, what is her beef with him? Like, why
Yeah.
is she
It
so
took me a
pissed
while
at
to remember
him?
too.
And then it wasn't until they kind of hinted at, I don't know if that's the right word. They kind of briefly mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah, the cheating scandal. Like I remember that it was a thing, but I don't really even remember that storyline.
It's been so long.
I
Yeah,
hate
it took.
to do that.
I was
Like,
like, why is she being so rude?
yeah, like she was being so rude to them. Like all of a sudden, like she doesn't trust her parents, she doesn't want them near her kid, and Judd is all like, yeah, that's great, free babysitting. And
It's
okay, I will agree that a lot of the time Judd is a very, very clueless man. But I was on his side this time. I'm like, these are your parents. Like, shouldn't you be like, why is your husband more on board than you are?
at first I thought it was like maybe he was having memory issues because he kept getting facts wrong when he was telling old stories or trying to tell stories about Grace when she was little. So I'm like, oh, does he have like dementia or something? Is that why she doesn't want him to watch the kid? And then I remembered this cheating thing. So I'm like, okay, that makes more sense.
Looking back now, it all makes sense because she seemed fine with her mom. Like she had
Uh-huh.
no issues with her mother. It was just her dad. So I'm kind of wondering why she wasn't like, okay, fine, but mom has to be there. It's like even that would have been acceptable, but she was just like, you guys watching her? No, not gonna happen.
I was just as surprised as Grace was when her mother heard her talking to Judd about the cheating. And she's like, I already knew. I forgave him. I did not think she knew about that at
Like,
all.
well, if you already forgave him, then what was this episode?
I guess she didn't know that Grace knew about it.
Uh,
Still, I mean,
It is an
yeah,
awkward thing to bring up, like with your daughter.
yeah.
I mean,
Especially when it's her father, you know.
exactly. I mean, it's kind of a crappy thing to do to tell your child that there was, whether you're the cheater or the one who was cheated on. It's just kind of a crappy thing to do to tell your child about it, no matter how old they are. So, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know where I was going with that. But the whole thing is just so weird. It's like the mom already forgives him, and Grace is still mad about it. And I feel like Maddie and Grace are like the same character, except on two different shows.
Mhm. Yep, I get their names mixed up all the time.
It
Kept
was
doing
just
that while I was doing this outline.
it was just a whole like awkward salad with that storyline this week. I every time that storyline came back around, I was like, oh my gosh, we have to dive back into this again.
It's just so weird seeing Grace act like that towards anybody because that's just so ungrace-like.
It
Like
is.
she's not grumpy or rude or short with anybody.
And like that's how Grace and Judd's relationship is. It's like he's the one who's always, at full force, and she's the one who's like, whoa, whoa, hold on, slow down. Let's be calm and think rationally. And now like their roles are completely flipped. And poor Judd is like, uh, we're not gonna bring our child to this think, like, why did they need a babysitter again? What was it that they went to?
No, I don't remember.
Oh my gosh, I feel like such a dummy. But yeah, he was just like, we're not bringing our daughter to the, wherever it is we need to go. Well, I think she was working because remember, she jumped in on the call that her mom made.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, they were both working. I think that's all it was. But as soon as she jumped in, I was like, this is a really, really terrible idea.
She got called into work. That's right. She got
Mhm.
that phone call and said someone called off. Someone was sick. Now I remember. Okay.
That was I remember early on in the series when she took a call from her father-in-law, which is fine because she doesn't have, I guess it's different with your in-laws than it is with your parents. But like she was screaming at her poor mother. She's like, let the baby fuss for a second. What's going on with dad?
Yeah, that was funny. I didn't expect her to just start yelling at her mom. I see why her boss took her off the call, though. It made sense. She was a little unreasonable at that moment.
I was so confused at first because I was like, wait, what happened to Sue? Who's this person? But then I was like, wait a minute, that's the other show. I don't think they've ever shown much of the only character we know of at the call center is Grace, I think. I mean, every once in a while they show other people,
Yeah.
but we don't know much, but not as much as like they showed Josh and Sue on OG. So
Yeah, definitely nowhere. She's really the only one we get most of the storyline from in Switchboard. The cheesy storyline was a little too much for me. Him talking about, wanting to have his daughters back together singing again. And then that's the thing that woke him up after his heart attack was all three daughters singing again.
it was very hunky dory. Like it was too happy for like that sounds like such a silly thing to say, but it was too happy.
Well, I was listening to them sing. I'm like, oh, it's like angel singing. But also, don't you dare open your eyes, dude, because that's just so cliche. And then he opens his eyes, and I'm like, cringe. Come on. You're better than this.
Come on, 911, you can do better. Like I didn't want the man to die, but couldn't they have just waited until like next episode and then that's when he like make us sit there and worry a little bit.
But we got to hear all of them singing together. So, I guess it evened out. The
Yeah,
cringe factor.
we got to hear them sing at least. That's what matters.
It is. That was pleasant. I like that.
You
Poor
know what?
Owen, though.
That was not pleasant.
That was not pleasant, no. He sure knows how to pick him, doesn't he?
Oh my gosh. You know what? At this point, nothing that Owen has put through surprises me anymore. So when we meet her husband, I was like, yeah, this sounds about right. Of course she's married. And of course they have an open relationship. Although her husband didn't make it sound as open as Kendra made it sound.
Not so much, no. Because like in the beginning of the episode, they kind of made it seem like they were happily married in an open relationship.
Which is
And then
fine.
as you get further into the episode, she starts claiming, oh, we're not happily married. Okay.
So, I mean, it's, for the record, I know that there are a lot of couples who do have open marriages like this. And if that worked for them, that's totally cool. I'm not judging. But it just didn't seem like the feeling was mutual. Like they were not on the same page.
No,
Like
he was definitely way more attached to her than she was to him.
but they didn't seem, neither one of them seemed to be truly attached to the other. It seemed like I feel like they were both kind of right, like, or maybe Kendra was right. I mean, they obviously were in, a kind of a dying marriage. So I don't know if the open marriage part of it destroyed it, but they were not a happily married couple for sure.
No.
But I
Yeah, in
love
the beginning they made him seem more like he didn't care, but then further into the episode, you could tell he definitely did care more. It's just how much did he care?
I feel like
We will never
in
know.
situations like this, most of the time, they both say that it's an open marriage, but there's always at least one person who actually is not cool with it. I was so amused when this came up like at the station, how, well, first of all, he came to the station to like get the sunglasses that Owen took, but I'm not even gonna get into that. That was weird. It was a boatload of awkward. But then as soon as TK found out, he was just like, why does this keep happening?
That
Right
was the
when
best
I
line.
think TK is just used to this, all of a sudden he's like, why does this keep happening?
Poor man, he just can't have a normal relationship.
I feel like Owen is just jumping from one weird storyline to the next. Like he
Mhm.
had the FBI thing. He had he had the relations and then
The
some
biker gang, and yeah,
and the biker gang, and now they're like, okay, yeah, so now he's involved with a woman who's in an open marriage. Like, is Owen just like the default character to like dump wacky storylines onto?
possibly yes. That's what it seems like. And now he may be involved with not only a married woman, but a serial killer who is a married woman.
That was so crazy. Like he was frozen solid. I didn't think it was going that direction. So yeah, the storyline in the promo, like in the preview, it made it seem like it was just a run-of-the-mill case. Because they do that a lot, where they have this case that you think is going to be a huge thing, and it ends up being like one minor like incident throughout the whole episode. But as soon as he would, like, I was sitting there like, do not do compressions on that body. I wasn't even calling him a man. It's like, do not even do compressions on that icicle. And then he went and do it in the crunch. Like, well, that's unfortunate.
It's like you can literally see this body is frozen solid. He even touched the body just to check it. Why would you do that? I mean,
I mean, I know that he didn't really want to wait for the paramedic team to get there, but this seems like a pretty special case where you might want to wait for them.
yeah. Have you ever seen frozen stuff when it breaks? I mean, I'm just saying.
Like, it just makes me wonder, does nobody, I know they have a specific paramedic team, but as a firefighter, don't you have to have like at least very basic, paramedic skills, like CPR and what to do in this scenario and that scenario? Um, shouldn't it be common knowledge that maybe you shouldn't be doing chest compressions on a body that's frozen solid?
Mhm. You would think.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
I was yelling at my TV. I'm like, don't do it. Oh God, it's doing it. Oh, we did it. Oh, that sound. Just that sound. It just went right through me. Mm. But I don't know. I really don't think Kendra is guilty of anything, honestly, because just them showing what she said before he died, I hope you freeze to death. I don't think
That's
they would actually cause her to have him freeze to death.
that's far too obvious.
Yes.
But they're making it seem like a Black Widow situation where she's going around killing husbands or something. But from what, like, her money, it's all her family money, right? It's not like she married into it.
No,
So why the need to kill off her husbands?
I don't know. I mean, these two were gonna get, you know, divorced, I guess, and he had a nice prenup, so he would be getting some money, but it's not like he'd be taking all of her money. Her family's very wealthy. I don't see the need to kill a husband, honestly, unless she's just like some psycho serial killer.
Well, maybe that's exactly what she is.
This is true. Yeah, Brett was unfortunately most of the rescues this week because, his arm and then he froze himself to death. How did he even do that to his arm, trapping it under the car? God, that looked so painful.
Uh, at this point, like, it didn't occur to me before. Did he do it on purpose?
I was wondering that myself. But then I was watching that arm and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I could do that to myself. Somebody do that to themselves?
I
Just
don't
kidding.
know. He and his wife both seem like complete wackadoos, so it's possible.
Yeah, they're both a little out there, huh?
Yeah, they were kind of perfect for each other. They were pretty wackadoo.
They really were perfect for each other.
They just didn't realize it until one of them froze to death.
And then we had that random woman with the swollen tongue.
Oh
It was
my
weird.
gosh. It was like swelling more and more and more by the second.
What was it that caused it? Her
Like,
anxiety?
no, it was like excitement because she was really excited about that coworker who wasn't married anymore, but then as soon as she was fine, it turned out he just lost his ring. And I was like, of course.
I did not know a tongue could get that big.
Yeah, so don't get too excited over anything, people. Your tongue might grow to like 5 times its normal size.
Right? Not realize that was the side effect of excitement.
I mean, it has to be a real thing. That's kind of this show's deal, is that these are based off of real calls. So I don't know what cities they're looking into, but nothing particularly fun like this happens in my town. So
Mm, That would be, I'd probably freak out if I saw that happen in person. Like,
I
your tongue is like really big. That's not normal.
I would completely forget how to do anything. Like call 911, like that wouldn't even occur to me.
Do you think Kendra is guilty?
I do. I think she's guilty of something. It's just something's just really off. I don't know if that means she's guilty or if she did something indirectly. Like I don't know, but something is just really off with her. Ever since we met her, I was like, there's something not right about this girl.
I don't like that she wasn't upfront with Owen about being married and having an open marriage. Like, that's not something you hide. If you're in an open marriage, that's cool. If that's, what you have with your husband. But don't hide it from the people that you're getting into relationships with. Like,
Otherwise, you run
they
into
need to know.
awkward situations
Like your husband coming in while you're in bed.
okay, and he was just so cavalier about it. Well, at first, he was acting so cavalier about it. He was like talking to the dog. He's like, "Come on, buddy, let's go," and let them enjoy their morning. I'm like, this is a fun reaction to catching your wife with someone else.
And the dog's just like licking Owen's face.
I feel like at this point, Owen's just like, okay, this is kind of weird. It's not new. We'll just go with it. It's fine.
Guys, you have to let us know if you think Kendra is guilty or not. I don't know. Maybe you're right. I think something's off with her. Just not quite right. I don't know what it is. I don't
It's that
know. She was in You, the actress, so
it's that
it's pretty.
actress, man. I mean,
Maybe
she's
the serial killer just wore off on her.
yeah, probably. I keep forgetting that she was in You.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, I still haven't finished the second half of the current season.
You have to finish it. It was so good. I'm
I
really
know.
excited for the next season.
Amanda keeps telling me to watch stuff, and I'm like, you need to let me finish or even start the last thing you gave me before you give me something else.
Yeah, my list got so big and overwhelming that I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna watch what I want now.
Like, this is overwhelming. I'm gonna fix it by just tossing it out and not doing it. Solid plan.
I thought so. It made my anxiety much better.
Like, and problem solved. No more stress.
Hopefully next week we'll get the conclusion to Kendra's murdery side, possibly. I really hope they don't drag this out for like 15 episodes because I just don't want them to.
I don't know. If it ends up being really juicy and like really good, I may not mind it.
They just
But
have a tendency to drag them out so far on these.
if it's another like biker gang like storyline where it's just so stupid, I'm gonna be begging for it to just be over.
Yeah, I need to know how many husbands she's had, how many you think she's killed, then I'll decide.
Yeah, I can't wait to find out what all they found in her past.
Yeah, because it was Carlos's dad was talking and made it seem like definitely has happened more than once.
And
This is not the first time.
Carlos's dad never gets involved in stuff unless it's something really big.
Hmm.
So if he's coming into some case, then we know it's gonna be like real serious. So maybe that's a sign that it's actually gonna be really good.
But please, for the love of God, don't put Owen undercover. He's just so bad at it.
Owen has already proven that he is terrible at it, so just no.
See, that's my fear. He's getting involved in a case about this woman and they're gonna put him undercover again. And he's just terrible at that. Just not the job for him ever. Or they
Well,
like just keep doing it.
well, to be fair, the failure of his first undercover job was pretty much the fault of the FBI because they didn't really tell him how to go undercover.
This is true. That one we can't blame on him.
I mean, granted, I'd be terrible at going undercover too. If you don't tell me what to do or what to say, or that I have to turn on the listening device,
Right?
I'm
Or
not gonna
even
do
that I
it.
have to turn them on. Exactly.
If
That's
I don't
definitely
know
something you should share.
if I don't know it's my job, I'm not gonna do it.
Do? Okay. That is all we have for you guys tonight. I'm curious to see what everybody's thoughts are on Kendra. Don't forget to check out our socials, guys, and our Facebook, which is 911 Family Fan Club. And don't forget to tune in next week for more episodes. Of course, Sundays are our Fox night, OG 911 and 911 Lone Star. Tuesdays are our NBC nights, where we discuss all 3 Chicago shows. And Wednesday are ABC nights, where we dig into Grey's Anatomy and Station 19. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Thanks for chatting. Bye.
Bye.
Loving our content? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to share our podcast with your family and friends. We want to continue the conversation with you. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok under Fandom Family Chats, or one of our ever-growing Facebook groups by searching Family Fan Club. We've also launched a website, Family Fan Club 2021 at wixsite.com. You can email us there and keep checking it for announcements and merch coming soon. And of course, be sure to tune in every week for new episodes discussing all your favorite shows.